that the sky was on fire. Orange flames moved across the clouds like waves in the ocean. Smoke rose from the ground. The old planet, once full of green life, was now dying slowly in heat and dust. Commander Rafe sat in the cockpit of his small ship, the Ember Wolf. He was alone, flying above the burning surface of planet Thalos 9. His ship shook in the storm, but he did not leave. His eyes stayed fixed on the screen. A red signal blinked. Distress beacon detected. His AI Nova spoke, in a calm voice. Signal source is 3 kilometers ahead. Risk level, critical, recommend evacuation. Rafe shook his head. Someone's down there. Still alive. This world is collapsing. Leave now and you survive. But Rafe didn't care. He leaned forward and controlled the ship toward the signal. Outside, burning ash hit the ship's shields. Lightning cracked through the sky. The world was dying, but someone was still calling for help. Rafe wasn't the type to ignore a call like that. As the ship landed, the heat sensors screamed. Flames danced over the ground, and broken metal lay everywhere. The remains of another crashed ship. Rafe stepped out. His boots hit cracked soil. His suit was heat protected, but even inside, he could feel the heat trying to burn him. He moved quickly toward the signal. Buildings stood like skeletons. The firestorm was getting stronger, and then he saw her, a figure lying beside a broken shuttle. Thin arms, pale skin, aglow from under her torn cloak. Her wrists were chained to a steel post. Her eyes were closed, her lips dry. Rafe ran to her. She was not human. Her skin had a soft silver shine. Her hair was white like snow. Her chest moved slowly. She was still breathing. He pulled a tool from his belt and cut the chains. As he lifted her into his arms, she opened her eyes. Golden, glowing not with fear, but with something ancient. She whispered, voice dry and broken, "They are coming." Rafe looked around and then he heard it. Footsteps in the dust. Shadows, moving through the fire. 4 figures, wearing black armor, their faces hidden, each held a weapon. One stepped forward. "Leave the girl, scavenger. Walk away, and we won't burn you." Rafe slowly placed the girl behind a metal wall. His hand went to his blaster. "She's not yours," he said. "She's property. Our client paid well." "You hunt people now?" Rafe asked, anger in his voice. "She's not people." The man laughed. "She's fuel." Rafe didn't wait. He fired. The first enemy fell. The others ducked behind cover. Lasers flew through the burning air. Rafe moved fast, using wreckage as shield, returning fire with precision. The alien girl watched, too weak to help, but Rafe didn't stop. He took down 2 more. The last one tried to run, but a shot to the back ended it. Silence returned. Only the firestorm screamed now. Rafe went back to her. She looked at him, tired and weak. "Why?" she asked. "Because no one should be left in chains," he said. He carried her back to the ship. Nova's voice returned. "Multiple ships approaching. You have 30 seconds. Rafe placed her gently in the med seat. "We're not dying here," he said. The Ember Wolf took off. Flames chased them. Behind them, a large black ship appeared in the clouds, but Rafe's ship escaped just in time. In space, the stars welcomed them. Rafe sat back, breathing hard. The girl opened her eyes again. She looked at the stars, then at Rafe. "You don't know what you've done," she said softly. "They will come for you." Rafe gave a half smile. "They can try." Then she reached into her cloak and pulled out a small glowing crystal. "This is yours now," she said. "You didn't just save me, you changed everything." Rafe looked at it. The glow was warm and alive. Nova's voice spoke again. "Commander, that object, it's not from any known star map. Energy levels are ... impossible." Rafe stared at the girl. "Who are you?" She smiled weakly. "I was a queen. Now I'm just someone who owes you her life." Outside, the stars moved silently, but danger was not far behind. Rafe sat quietly in the ship's lounge. The lights were dim, the engines humming gently in the background. Across from him, the alien woman rested on a medical bed. Her wounds were healing, slowly. With the help of the ship's auto-med. He watched the silver lines on her skin. Her blood shimmered faintly under her skin, glowing like moonlight trapped in glass. She wasn't normal. She wasn't like anything he had ever seen. Nova, the ship's AI, broke the silence. "Commander, we are now 6 light hours away from Thalos 9. No ships in pursuit. For now." Rafe leaned forward. "For now," he repeated under his breath. The woman opened her eyes again. She looked stronger now. Her golden eyes locked onto his. "You saved me," she said. "You needed help." He replied simply, "I am not used to kindness." She sat up slowly, placing a hand on her side. "I should tell you who I am." Rafe crossed his arms. "I was hoping you would." She looked down, then back at him. "My name is Syrah. I come from a hidden system, far from human maps. My people are known as the Ilari. We once ruled an empire, long before Earth sent its first ship into space." Rafe raised an eyebrow. "Never heard of you." "No one has." "That was the point," she said softly. She reached into the folds of her cloak and pulled out a small cube. When she pressed it, a hologram appeared, a bright planet with rings of silver and blue. This was Alara Prime, my home. It looked peaceful, bright forests, floating towers, shining cities. It was beautiful, she whispered until they came. Who? Rafe asked. Hunters, traders. They learned about our blood. She held up her arm, where a small cut revealed a shining silver drop. This is not just blood. It is energy, life force in our people. It powers everything, even memory. But in the wrong hands it becomes a weapon. Rafe leaned closer. So they hunt you. To drain it? Yes, she said, her voice heavy with pain. And I am not just one of them. I am the last of the royal line. They call me a queen, but I am just a target now. Rafe stood up and walked toward the window, looking at the stars. You were bait. That signal, it was a trap. Yes, she said. They knew someone would come. Someone brave or stupid. Rafe smirked, maybe both. Just then Nova's voice returned. Sharp this time, Commander. I've detected a cloaked ship following us. It appeared 2 minutes ago. No comms, no ID. Rafe's smile faded. Sierra stood now. It's them. Any weapons? He asked Nova. Unknown, but their cloak is advanced. Human ships don't have that tech. Rafe turned to Sierra. Can they track you through space? She nodded yes. Through my blood. If I'm injured, they can follow me. He grabbed a small injector from the medkit. Then we hide your trail. He injected her with a bioblocker. Her body tensed for a moment, then relaxed. Nova confirmed. Blood signal, ... Masked. Cloaked ship has stopped tracking, but it's still there. Rafe narrowed his eyes, waiting for us to land somewhere. Then they'll strike. He paced the floor. Sierra watched him. You don't have to help me anymore, she said. You already saved me. You can drop me on the nearest moon and leave. He turned sharply. I'm not dropping anyone, not after what I've seen. Sierra tilted her head. Why do you care? He looked at her for a moment, then sat down. Because when I was a kid, my planet burned. 2 pirates, my parents tried to stop them. They didn't make it. There was silence between them for a moment. Sarah broke it. I'm sorry, Rafe nodded. You didn't do it, but I never forgot that feeling. Helpless, alone. He looked at her. You looked the same, lying there. In the fire. Sierra lowered her eyes. Then I owe you twice. Suddenly, Nova beeped. Incoming encrypted transmission. Unmarked source. Playing audio. A deep voice filled the room. You have something that belongs to us. Return the fugitive, or your ship will be destroyed. You have 1 hour. Then silence. Rafe stood. Well, he said. That's not very polite. Sarah's eyes sharpened. We need to run. No, Rafe said. Running won't solve this. They'll chase you forever. We need answers, weapons, a plan. Sarah looked unsure. Where will we go? He smiled. To the only place in this sector that doesn't care who you are as long as you pay. Black Reach Station. Exactly, Rafe said. My old contact lives there. He can hide us, maybe help us fight back. Sarah slowly nodded. Then let's do it. Nova began preparing the jump. As the stars stretched before them, Rafe turned to Sarah. One more thing, he said. Next time someone points a gun at us. Cyril held up her hand. Electricity sparked in her palm. I won't be helpless again. The ship vanished into the stars. The hunt was far from over. Blackreach Station floated like a rusted beast in deep space. Built into an asteroid, it was a lawless hub of smugglers, hackers, and those who lived between the cracks of the galaxy. Lights flickered. Ships came and went without questions. Rafe's ship, the Ember Wolf, approached slowly. Inside, Rafe stood next to Sarah. Her hood was up, eyes hidden. Her silver skin glowed faintly, even in the shadows. This place is dangerous, Rafe said. Don't talk. Don't look at anyone. Sierra nodded. Understood. Nova's voice came through the ship's speaker. Cloaked ship still nearby. Watching, but not attacking. They want us to feel safe, Rafe muttered. Let our guard down. He guided the Ember Wolf to Dock 17. The landing was rough. The station's old gravity field pulling hard. As the doors opened, the smell of smoke and metal filled the air. Loud music echoed from far chambers. Neon signs flickered. The crowd moved fast. Aliens, humans, machines, all ignoring each other. Rafe moved quickly through the crowd. Sarah followed closely, her eyes scanning everything. Where are we going? She asked quietly. To an old friend, Rafe replied. He owes me a favor. They reached a dark bar called the Core Leak. Inside, a thick fog of vapor hung in the air. Machines clicked. A large, greasy man behind the counter looked up. Rafe, he said, surprised. You're alive. Just barely. Jaren. Rafe replied. I need a place to lay low. And I need information. Jaren nodded, slowly, wiping his hands on a towel. Still finding trouble? I glanced at Sarah. Your new partner. Something like that, Rafe said. We're being hunted. Jaren grunted. Aren't we all? He led them through a back door into a small private room with one table and a broken light. The moment the door closed, metal locks clicked shut. Now, Jaren said, leaning forward. Tell me what's really going on. Rafe explained everything. The burning planet, the hunters, the blood, the message from the cloaked ship. Jaren listened carefully. When Rafe finished, Jaren sat back thinking. I've heard rumors, he said. Silver blood, a hidden race. Most thought it was a myth. Sierra spoke quietly. It's not. Jaren nodded slowly. Then you're worth a lot. Girl, Rafe narrowed his eyes. She's not for sale. Jaron raised his hands. Relax. I said I owed you, remember, but something felt off. Syrah felt it too. She leaned toward Rafe. This room, there's something under the floor. Suddenly the light went red. Doors slammed shut. Gas hissed from the walls. Rafe stood. Blaster out. Jaren, what the hell is this? I'm sorry, Rafe, Jaren said from behind a thick glass wall. The price on her head. It's enough to buy a planet. He pressed a button. The floor opened. 2 bounty hunters rose from the platform below, armored, armed, and fast. Rafe pushed Syrah down as lasers hit the wall behind them. He returned fire, hitting one in the shoulder. The bounty hunter rolled behind cover the second. One charged with an electric blade. Rafe barely blocked the strike with his arm guard, then kicked him back. Syrah crawled behind a console, her hands glowing. One hunter moved toward her. Bad idea. Syrah lifted her hand. A blast of energy burst from her palm, knocking the hunter into the ceiling. He dropped instantly, his armor smoking. The other one backed away, nervous now. Rafe didn't give him a chance. One shot. Direct hit. He was down. The gas stopped. Jaron cursed from behind the wall. You don't understand, he shouted. They're already here. You're not safe anywhere. Rafe aimed his blaster at the glass. I know, he said, and fired. The glass cracked but didn't break. Still, Jaron ducked and ran. Rafe grabbed Syrah's arm. We need to move. Now. They ran through a back exit. Sirens were going off. Across the station. Nova's voice came through a small earpiece in Rafe's ear. Enemy ship is moving, approaching the station. They're sending drones inside. They planned this, Syrah said. They knew we'd come here. Rafe nodded. That's the trap. Jaran was just step 1. As they entered the docking bay, 3 black drones hovered toward them, weapons ready. Syrah's eyes glowed gold. She raised her hands this time. Her power cracked the air. Lightning flew from her fingertips, frying to drones instantly. Rafe shot the 3rd before it fired. They reached the Ember Wolf. The ship's doors opened as they jumped inside. Nova spoke urgently, tracking 10 more heat signatures. Enemy strike team inbound. Rafe slammed into the pilot's seat. Then let's give them something to chase. Engines roared. The ship blasted out of the station just as the enemy strike team entered the dock behind them. Black Reach faded into darkness. Inside the ship, Syrah looked at Rafe. You were right, she said. No one here cares who you are. He nodded. But I do. And now I care what happens next. Rafe smiled slightly. Good, because now we fight back. The stars outside the ship looked cold and endless. Inside the Ember Wolf, silence filled the air. The kind that comes after battle. Rafe stood at the control panel, scanning nearby space for enemies. Nothing yet, but he knew they weren't safe. Behind him, Syrah sat quietly in the small observation room, staring out the window. Her golden eyes reflected the stars. Rafe walked in, holding 2 metal cups. Tea synth-grown, probably terrible. Syrah took it with a small smile. It smells like engine fuel. Rafe sat across from her. So, you said you were a queen. She didn't answer at first. She just looked at the stars. Then she spoke. My real name is Cyrillin Vera, High Daughter of House Vera. Once, my voice could move planets. My blood was the key to our technology. My people believed I would lead them into a new age. Rafe blinked. That's a lot. Syrah nodded slowly. But it didn't happen. One by one, our cities fell. Betrayal came from inside, and I ran. She looked down at her hands. My escape was a secret. Only 3 knew I left. The rest thought I died. Why run? Rafe asked. Because I didn't want to be worshipped anymore. She said. I wanted to live, not rule. Rafe leaned back. And now they want you back. Not as a queen, but as a power source. She nodded. He stood up and walked to the control screen. We need allies, weapons, somewhere to hide. Syrah looked at him. No, we don't hide anymore. He turned, surprised. She stood now, her voice strong. I'm done running. If I keep hiding, they'll find others, hurt others. I need to become what I was born to be. Rafe frowned. A queen. Syrah walked to a locked cabinet and opened it with her fingerprint. Inside was the glowing crystal she had shown him before, but now it pulsed with energy. She handed it to Rafe. This is a seed. It connects to something ancient, something buried deep beneath my world. What does it do? It opens the Vault of Echoes, she said. A place only royal blood can enter. It holds knowledge, power, everything the Alari once were. Rafe stared at the glowing object. That's why they want you, not just for your blood but for this. Yes, she said. With this, they can become gods. Rafe handed it back. Then we destroy it. Syrah shook her head. No, we use it first. Just then Nova's voice interrupted. Commander, we've entered the Veil sector. Scanning. Anomaly detected. Hidden object is emitting low-frequency pulses. Coordinates match Ellery signal patterns. Syrah stepped forward. That's it, the entrance to the vault. Rafe frowned already. That's too easy, Syrah whispered. Nothing about this is easy. They followed Nova's guidance and soon reached a small moon, cold and dark. No signs of life. No structures, just dust and stone. They landed. Syrah stepped out first. The moment her foot touched the ground, the wind changed. The air shimmered. Rafe saw ancient symbols rise from the ground glowing blue dot. She held up the seat. It floated from her hand and hovered above the ground. A giant stone gate appeared, invisible until now, covered in runes, silent but alive. Sarah placed her palm on it. It opened inside. The vault was a massive chamber of light and echo. Walls of data danced like fire. Floating crystals whispered secrets in a language Rafe couldn't understand. Sarah stepped in, her body glowing faintly. The vault welcomed her. A crystal floated to her hand and melted into her skin. Her eyes turned white for a moment. Rafe stepped forward. Sarah, are you? She raised a hand to stop him. I'm fine. It's showing me everything. Everything. Our history. Our fall. The traitor who opened the doors to the hunters. Rafe waited. Sarah's voice trembled. It was my uncle. He wanted the throne. He sold us for power. Suddenly the chamber shook. Nova's voice came through the commander. Incoming ship cloaked. It's them. Sarah turned. We can't let them take this. Rafe nodded. Then we fight. She raised her hand again, and this time, the vault responded. A weapon formed from light and metal, shaped like a staff. Humming with power, Sarah took it and looked at Rafe. I'm not just a queen, she said. What are you then? She smiled. A storm. Above the quiet moon, the Ember Wolf floated in low orbit, silent, watching. Inside, alarms began to flash red. Cloaked ship now visible. Nova warned. Unmarked vessel. Heavy armor. Multiple heat signatures. Rafe sprinted back into the cockpit, eyes sharp. Sarah followed, her new staff in hand, glowing faintly. They found us fast, Rafe muttered. Sarah's voice was calm because someone told them where to look. Rafe glanced at her. What are you saying? I'm saying they didn't just guess the vault's location. Someone gave them coordinates. Nova interrupted. Enemy ship charging weapons. Shields at 100%. Rafe cursed under his breath. We're not ready for this fight. Just then, another figure entered the cockpit. Laz, Rafe's co-pilot and engineer, who had been silent for hours, working in the lower decks. He had a blaster on his belt. His eyes didn't meet Rafe's. You said we'd stay hidden, Laz said slowly. Rafe didn't look at him. Change of plans. They won't stop, Rafe, Laz said. You know it. They'll follow us across the galaxy. Sarah narrowed her eyes. Then she noticed it, the faint red light blinking on Laz's wrist. A hidden communicator. Her voice went cold. You betrayed us. Laz looked at her, then at Rafe. You don't understand. I sent the signal. Yes, but I didn't give them everything. I made a deal. Rafe stood, tense. A deal. They promised they wouldn't hurt you, Laz said. Only her. They just want her blood. Rafe, she's not like us. She's not even human. Rafe's jaw clenched. She's more human than you right now. Sarah stepped forward. You gave them my life. Laz looked down. I thought I was protecting us. Outside, the enemy ship began launching small fighter drones. Rafe rushed to the weapons panel. We don't have time for this. He locked Laz in place with a magnetic field. We'll talk later if we're alive. Fighter drones, approaching, Nova said. Impact in 30 seconds. Rafe sat at the pilot's seat. Sarah, shields up. Nova, activate defensive guns. Sarah placed her hand on the controls. Her energy flowed into the ship. Lights brightened. Systems jumped to full power. Connected, she said. Let's show them who we are. Outside, drones opened fire, but the Ember Wolf responded faster than it ever had. Rafe dodged, spun, countered. The ship felt alive. Lasers tore through the first wave of drones. 2 exploded near the cockpit, but the shields held strong. Inside the ship, Laz shouted from behind the field. They won't stop. That ship outguns us 10-1. Rafe ignored him. We have one shot, he said. The vault, it can't fall into their hands. Nova, prep emergency overload on the core drive. Nova hesitated. Core overload will destroy the ship. Only if we lose, Rafe replied. Sarah turned to him. I can draw their power systems offline, but I need to get close. Rafe looked at her. That's suicide. She stepped toward the airlock. So is letting them win. He followed her, grabbed her wrist gently. Don't do this alone. She looked at him, softer now. You gave me a chance to live, Rafe. Now I give you a chance to fight. Before he could stop her, she stepped into the escape pod. The door sealed. What it? Rafe shouted. The pod launched. Rafe ran back to the cockpit. On screen, the enemy ship was closing in, but the pod, it flew straight toward it. Sarah sat inside, calm and still, the staff across her lap. She closed her eyes. The moment her pod touched the enemy ship's hull, energy sparked around her. The staff lit up. A pulse flew out like a shockwave. Inside the enemy ship, lights flickered, engines died. Drones fell from the sky like stones. Nova gasped. Even as an AI enemy ship disabled. Temporary systems failure detected. Rafe acted fast. Fire all missiles now. The Ember Wolf unleashed its payload. 5 missiles. All direct hits. The enemy ship cracked open in space. Pieces flew out. Fire and smoke vanished into the void. The danger was over, but the pod was gone. Rafe searched the screens. Sarah, come in. Nothing. Static. He called again. Nothing. Then faintly, her voice. I'm here, but I'm not alone. Suddenly the screen showed something new. A second ship, small, fast, had picked up Sarah's pod during the blast. It was already jumping to light speed. Rafe stood frozen. Nova confirmed. Unidentified ship has taken the pod. Jump complete. Signal lost. Rafe stared at the dark screen. Silence. Then he whispered, we were tricked again. Behind him Laz sat in the locked field, quiet, ashamed. Rafe didn't look at him. She saved us. And we let her go alone. Nova spoke once more. What are your orders, Commander? Rafe's hands gripped the pilot controls. We find her, he said. No matter what. Cold space stretched out before them, dark and endless. But Rafe's focus was sharp. He stood on the bridge of the Ember Wolf, eyes locked on the glowing map. A red dot blinked once, then vanished again. Still nothing, he asked. Nova's voice replied calm but grim. She vanished mid-jump. The ship that took her had stealth tech beyond current records. I'm still scanning. Behind him, Laz sat silently in the corner. He hadn't spoken much since the betrayal. His hands were cuffed, guilt written across his face. Rafe didn't look at him. He couldn't. Not yet. She's still alive, Rafe said quietly. I know it. Nova hesitated. Based on signal fragments, one possible destination exists. The Frostline system. No registered colonies. Only a dead moon named Plot a course. Rafe ordered. Done. Arrival in 1 hour. Rafe turned to Laz. You're coming with me. Laz looked up, surprised. Why? Rafe's eyes were cold. You helped them take her. Now you help get her back. Laz nodded slowly. Whatever it takes. The ship dropped out of light speed above Veros 3, a frozen, lifeless moon. No sunlight, no sound, just icy rocks and deep canyons. Nova scanned the surface. Heat signatures detected near the equator. Hidden facility underground. High security. Multiple life signs. Rafe grabbed his blaster. Laz suited up without a word. As they descended in the drop shuttle, the wind howled outside. The cold hit hard, even through their suits. But Rafe felt something deeper than the cold. He felt her. Sira. Still out there, still fighting. They reached a hidden metal door built into a cliffside. Rafe placed a small charge. It exploded with a muffled blast. Inside. The air was warm and thick with tension. Guards ran toward the sound. Too slow. Rafe moved like a ghost. Blaster silent and fast. Laz followed, covering his back. They made their way down through narrow halls lit by blue lights. On the lower level, a large chamber opened, full of glowing machines and dark glass tanks. In one tank, floating in golden light, was Sarah unconscious. Arms suspended, a cable connected to her back. Her silver blood ran through tubes into the walls. No, Rafe whispered. He stepped forward, but a deep voice echoed from the shadows. You came alone, brave, or stupid. A tall figure stepped out, a cybernetic hunter, half man, half machine. His left eye glowed red. His right hand was a weapon. I know you, Rafe said. The man smiled coldly. You should have trained you. Rafe froze. Commander Kale. Not anymore, Kale said. Now I serve the future. Her blood will power a new age. You're a coward, Rafe growled. No, Kale said. I'm evolution. He raised his weapon. A blade of light formed. Rafe pulled his blaster. They rushed forward. The clash shook the chamber. Kale's blade sparked against Rafe's armor. Rafe rolled, fired, missed. Laz shot from the side, drawing Kale's attention, but Kale was faster. One strike and Laz dropped, wounded but alive. Rafe jumped in close, punching Kale back, but Kale grabbed his throat, lifting him. You can't win, Kale hissed. You're just a man. But then a light. Behind the glass, Ciro opened her eyes. Golden, burning, the cables snapped. The glass exploded outward. Ciro landed on the ground like a falling star. Her skin glowed with raw energy. Her staff appeared in her hand, called by thought. Kale turned. No, Ciro raised her hand. Light burst from her fingers. Kale flew backward, crashing into the wall. Sarah walked forward. Her voice echoed like thunder. You took my people, my power, my name. Now take my wrath. Kale roared and charged. Sarah met him with the staff, their weapons clashing like lightning and steel. Each strike shook the room. Rafe pulled Laz to safety as the chamber cracked around them finally. With one last cry, Sarah drove the staff into Kale's chest. Energy pulsed. His systems exploded. He fell, silent. Forever. Sira collapsed to her knees, breathing hard. Rafe ran to her. She looked up. You came. He smiled. Of course I did. She leaned against him. I saw you in the dark. You never gave up. Never, he said. Nova's voice came through his earpiece. Enemy signals down. Extraction ready. They left the ruined base behind as the Ember Wolf rose through the icy sky. Rafe sat beside Cira in the med bay. She was weak but healing. Laz sat across from them, wrapped in guilt. I'm sorry, he whispered. Cira looked at him. You made a mistake. Now fix it. Help others like me. Laz nodded. I will. Rafe turned to Sarah. Is it over? She looked out the window. No, she said, but the war just got its first real battle and we won. Peace had weight, not heavy like fear or pain, but deep, like silence after a storm. The Ember Wolf floated gently above the world of Nerethus, a green and blue planet far beyond known human charts. It was quiet, beautiful, untouched, a secret world, long hidden by the Alari. Rafe stood at the ship's window, looking down at the forests below. Giant crystal trees swayed in silver wind. Sky creatures flew in soft patterns above rivers of light. Behind him, Sarah entered. She walked slowly now, still recovering, but there was calm in her steps. Strength had returned to her eyes. "They're waiting for you," she said. "I'm not sure I belong down there," Rafe replied. Sarah moved closer. "You saved me. You fought beside me. That makes you part of this." Rafe smiled. "Last time I checked, I was still human." She looked out the window. "Human, maybe, but more than that, too." He turned. "And what about you? Still a queen?" Sarah didn't answer at first. Then she whispered, "I don't want to rule. I want to rebuild." Rafe nodded. "Then let's go." The landing pad shimmered with soft blue light as the ship touched down. A group of Ilari elders waited at the edge, tall and graceful, their eyes glowing faintly. They bowed as Sarah stepped out. One elder spoke, voice like song. "Sira Lonvera, daughter of the light, you have returned." Sarah bowed her head, not to take power, but to share it. The elder looked at Rafe next. "And you, the one who walked through fire for her?" Rafe gave a small, awkward nod. "Just doing the right thing." The elder smiled. "Sometimes the right thing lights entire worlds." Later that day, Rafe stood on a high balcony overlooking a city, made of crystal and air. Everything shimmered like water in sunlight. Ilari children laughed below. The sky was full of color. Sira joined him, wearing a soft silver robe, no crown, no guards, just her. "They want to give you land," she said with a soft smile. "Titles, wealth." Rafe chuckled. "I wouldn't know what to do with all that." Sarah held out a small metal box. He opened it. Inside was a memory crystal, glowing softly. "This holds the knowledge of the vault," she said. "A gift from our ancestors. You're the only known Ilari to receive it." Rafe looked at it carefully. "It's alive." "It is," she said. "Like you, changing, always learning." He closed the box. "I didn't come here for rewards," he said quietly. Sira looked at him. "Then why did you stay?" Rafe turned toward her. "Because I finally found something worth staying for." She didn't speak. She just smiled and took his hand. That night, they lit a skyfire, a tradition of the Ilari. One by one, crystal lanterns floated into the sky, each carrying a name, a hope, or a memory. Rafe held one in his hands. "For your parents?" Sira asked gently. Rafe nodded. "And for the ones we lost along the way." He let it go. It rose, joining a river of light above the trees. Then Laz walked up. His wounds were healing, but the weight on his shoulders was deeper. Rafe looked at him. "You could have run." Laz shook his head. "I need to earn it back, one step at a time." Rafe extended a hand. Laz took it. "Start here," Rafe said. "We've got work to do." Days passed. Sira began helping rebuild old Ilari tech. She opened the vault again, but this time not to hide, but to teach. Rafe helped organize a defense system, one that didn't rely on blood, but on trust and tech. Together, they shaped something new. Not a kingdom, a home. One morning, Nova's voice broke the peace. "Commander, human relay beacon detected. Message from Earth Central." Rafe raised an eyebrow. "After all this time," Nova continued, "they want you back. They say you're a hero. Medals, parades, the works." Sarah looked at him. "Are you going?" Rafe thought for a moment, then shook his head. "I already got my reward." Sarah smiled. "Gold." "No," he said, wrapping an arm around her. "Something better." On the edge of the city, under a star-filled sky, Rafe stood beside Sira. Once, he was a lone scavenger chasing a signal on a dying world. Now, he stood beside a queen who no longer ruled from fear but from hope. He looked up at the stars. There were still battles to fight, still darkness out there. But for now, there was peace. And in that peace, he had found his place. Not as a soldier, not as a savior, but as something far more rare, a man who had saved a stranger from the flames, and found a home among the stars.